Most people speak, but very few speak in a way that creates impact, influence, and opportunity. Your voice can open doors faster than your degree, your network, or your money, if you know how to use it. This audiobook is your blueprint to mastering the kind of communication that elevates your confidence, multiplies your opportunities, and accelerates your growth. Whether you want to lead better, earn more, inspire others, or build authority, mastering your voice is the fastest way to transform your life. If you're ready to upgrade your communication and unlock your highest potential, let's begin. Chapter 1. The Power of Effective Speaking. Your entire life can change through one skill: the ability to communicate with power. Most people underestimate how deeply their voice affects the way others see them. When you speak, people instantly make judgments about your intelligence, your confidence, your authority, your capability, and even your future potential. They form an opinion before you even finish your first sentence. That is how powerful your voice is. And that is exactly why effective speaking becomes the foundation of fast success. Think about this for a moment. Two people walk into the same room. One is highly knowledgeable, experienced, and skilled. The other is average in ability. Yet the average person knows how to speak clearly, confidently, and with presence. In most real-world situations, the second person will rise faster, not because they are more talented, but because they communicate better. This is the uncomfortable truth many people don't like to hear. Your voice can be more influential than your skill set. In a world that rewards perception, communication is your biggest asset. Your voice shapes how people perceive your intelligence. If you sound unsure, scattered, or disconnected, people assume you don't know what you're talking about, even if you do. But when you speak with clarity and structure, people naturally believe you're smart, capable, and in control. Confidence in your voice signals competence in your mind. Speaking well builds trust faster than almost anything else you do. Trust is the currency of opportunity. People follow those they trust. They buy from those they trust. They promote, support, and recommend those they trust. And trust is built in seconds, not months, through your voice, your tone, your pace, and your presence. You've seen this in your own life. Someone speaks with confidence and you immediately believe them. Someone hesitates and you doubt them. We judge minds through mouths. This is why speaking creates opportunities faster than technical skills alone. Technical skills are important, yes, but they need a vehicle to be expressed. That vehicle is your voice. You can be talented but unrecognized, skilled but undervalued, hardworking but invisible, simply because your communication doesn't match your potential. Meanwhile, someone less skilled receives the raise, the client, or the promotion just because they present themselves better. In the modern world, communication isn't an optional. It's survival. It's growth. It's leverage. It is your fastest shortcut to increased income, influence, and success. Here's the mindset shift. Communication is not a personality trait. It is a trainable skill. Most people believe that some people are naturally good speakers. They are not. They are trained. They've practiced. They've corrected weak habits. They've improved tone, confidence, structure, energy, and the way they express ideas. And you can do the same. Effective speaking is a muscle. Like any muscle, it grows with repetition, intention, and discipline. Most people, however, practice speaking unintentionally every day. They speak without awareness, without structure, without discipline. And then they wonder why their communication does not improve. But when you begin training your communication with intention, your life changes. One intentional conversation can open doors. One well-delivered idea can earn respect. One clear explanation can build trust. One confident statement can reshape how people see you forever. Consider this real example. A man named Jordan worked at a company for 8 years. Hardworking but quiet, he never spoke up in meetings. He never shared ideas. He never volunteered to explain anything. His manager assumed he lacked leadership qualities, not because he did, but because he never expressed them. One day, a project required someone to brief the team. Jordan was forced to speak. Nervous but prepared, he delivered his points with clarity and structure. The team was shocked. The manager said, "I didn't know you were this capable." That one moment changed Jordan's growth path. Within months, he was leading departments he once felt invisible in. Nothing changed except one thing. His voice revealed who he really was. This is the reality for millions. Capabilities remain hidden because communication does not reflect potential. If you want your life to grow faster, you must let your voice carry the weight of your potential. Here is the practical advice. 1. Practice intentionally every day. Explain one idea clearly. Record yourself for 60 seconds. Speak slowly. Speak purposefully. Speaking is a skill. Repetition builds mastery. 2. Treat every conversation as training. Whether talking to a friend, coworker, client, or stranger, speak with clarity. Avoid filler words. Structure your points. Deliver with confidence. 3. Increase your awareness. Listen to how you speak. Notice tone, speed, hesitation, and habits. Improvement begins with awareness. 4. Speak with a goal. Never speak just to fill space. Speak to inform, inspire, influence, or lead. When you take communication seriously, people take you seriously. When people take you seriously, doors open. Your voice can elevate your career, strengthen relationships, grow income, expand influence, and reshape identity. You don't need to be loud. You need to be intentional. You don't need the perfect words. You need belief in your delivery. The power to change your life is already inside you. It's in your voice. And the moment you learn to use it with confidence and clarity, your world shifts. Because when you speak effectively, you don't just communicate better, you grow faster.
Chapter 2. Clarity, the foundation of impact. Clarity is the backbone of effective communication. Without it, even the strongest ideas fall flat. You can have brilliance, insights, and solutions that could change lives, but if your words are muddled, unclear, or scattered, people will not hear you. They won't follow you. They won't trust you. And they certainly won't act on your message. Think about the last time you listened to someone who rambled. Maybe they repeated themselves, used filler words, or jumped from one idea to another without warning. How much of what they said did you actually remember? Probably very little. And yet, the person speaking may have been intelligent, insightful, and well-prepared. The only thing holding them back was clarity. Clarity is not just about speaking slowly or using simple words. It's about structuring your message so that every idea flows naturally from one point to the next. It's about removing noise, filler words, and uncertainty. It's about giving your audience a map they can follow, from beginning, through middle, to end. When your message is clear, people not only understand you, they believe you. They feel confident in your ideas because they can grasp them without confusion. Clarity signals competence. It signals preparation, and most importantly, it signals authority. 1. Remove filler words and choose clean, simple sentences. Filler words like you know, like, and sort of are silent credibility killers. They make even strong ideas sound hesitant and weak. Every time you say a filler word, your authority takes a hit. Every time you overcomplicate a sentence, your message loses punch. The key is simplicity. Choose words that are precise and sentences that are easy to follow. Don't show off vocabulary. Show understanding. Don't cram ideas into one long sentence. Break them into digestible chunks. Example, weak. I think, we might be able to improve efficiency if we kind of change the process a little. Clear. We can improve efficiency by simplifying the process. Notice the difference. One is hesitant, cluttered, and forgettable. The other is confident, direct, and memorable. Clear speech immediately inspires trust. People don't question it, they follow it. Practice tip. Record yourself speaking for 1 minute. Count the filler words. Then try again, intentionally removing them. Over time, this builds a disciplined, clean speaking style. 2. Structure every message with a clear beginning, middle, and end. Even the clearest words can get lost if your message has no structure. Structure is the invisible guide that helps people navigate your ideas. Without it, listeners struggle, even with strong content. With it, they follow effortlessly, remember your points, and act on your recommendations. A simple framework. Beginning, state your main idea clearly. Let people know what they're about to hear. Middle, provide reasoning, examples, or evidence that support your point. End, close with a summary, takeaway, or action step. Example. Beginning, clear communication improves team productivity. Middle, when instructions are easy to understand, mistakes drop and tasks are completed faster. Teams spend less time clarifying and more time executing. End, start implementing structured communication today to boost efficiency and reduce confusion. Notice how the audience can follow each step naturally. Structured messages reduce mental strain and increase engagement. They also make you look organized, prepared, and authoritative, even if you're nervous inside. 3. Train clarity by slowing down and emphasizing your key point. Many people speak too quickly, trying to get all their ideas out at once. This creates confusion and dilutes impact. Slowing down allows listeners to absorb your message, connect ideas, and feel the weight of what you're saying. Pausing is powerful. Pauses let words land. They highlight importance. They give your audience time to process. And when you slow down and emphasize key points, your message becomes more persuasive. Example. Rushed. We need to focus on efficiency, communication, deadlines, and quality to improve our results. Clear and impactful. We need to focus on one thing first, efficiency. By improving efficiency, communication and quality follow naturally. By slowing down and highlighting one key idea at a time, you ensure your audience remembers what matters most. Practice tip. Before speaking, identify one key message per conversation. Emphasize it. Repeat it if necessary. Watch how listeners lean in, nod, and respond differently when they clearly understand your point. Clarity is not optional. It is the foundation of impact. It is what separates people who talk from people who influence. Clear speakers are trusted, followed, and remembered. Unclear speakers are ignored, questioned, and forgotten. Remember this. Remove filler words and use clean, simple sentences. Structure your message with a clear beginning, middle, and end. Slow down and emphasize your key points to ensure understanding. Master clarity and you multiply your influence, accelerate trust, and make your ideas actionable. Speak with clarity and your audience doesn't just hear you, they believe you, follow you, and act on what you say. Because when you communicate with clarity, your words become your power.
Chapter 3. Confidence. Speak like you mean it. Confidence is more than just a feeling. It is the signal that tells the world you are capable, prepared, and worth listening to. You can have all the knowledge, all the skills, and all the ideas in the world, but if you do not speak with confidence, people will doubt you. Your tone communicates more than your words. Your presence communicates more than your ideas. When you speak like you mean it, doors open faster, opportunities find you, and people take you seriously, even if you are still learning. Most people underestimate the power of confident speech. They think confidence comes after success, promotions, or mastery. But in reality, confidence often comes first, and success follows.
Your voice, your posture, your energy, and your delivery shape perception. People respond to how you speak long before they evaluate what you are saying. Think of it this way. Two people deliver the same presentation. One speaks hesitantly, fumbles words, and avoids eye contact. The other speaks clearly, firmly, and with steady tone. Who leaves a lasting impression? The second, not necessarily because they know more, but because their confidence signals capability. Confidence is contagious. Hesitation is invisible. 1. Tone communicates confidence more than your actual words. Tone is the emotional signal your voice sends. You can use the right words, but if your tone wavers, hesitates, or trails off, your message loses power. Confident speakers use tone intentionally to inspire, to assert authority, and to create trust. Example. Imagine saying, I think this strategy might maybe work. Confident, this strategy works, and here's why. Notice the difference. The words are almost the same, but the tone completely changes perception. The confident tone conveys certainty and authority, even if you are still learning the finer details. Your audience reacts to the certainty in your voice long before they process your logic. Practice. Record yourself reading aloud. Experiment with tone. Push your voice to be firm, steady, and intentional. Pause at key points. Emphasize the words that matter. Over time, confident tone becomes automatic. 2. Stand firm, breathe deeply, and project your voice with intention. Confidence is not just mental, it is physical. Your body communicates before you even speak. Standing tall, maintaining open posture, and grounding yourself signals authority. Breathing deeply not only calms nerves, but also strengthens your voice. Projecting your words ensures your message reaches people and is taken seriously. Simple daily exercise. Stand in front of a mirror. Speak one sentence aloud with intention. Breathe before speaking. Let your chest expand. Project your voice as if you want the farthest person in the room to hear it. Observe your posture, expression, and energy. These physical habits build confidence from the inside out. When you speak like your body is in control, your mind follows, and your audience senses it. 3. Speak even when nervous. Repetition builds strength. Fear of speaking is natural. Even the most experienced speakers feel nervous. The difference is that confident speakers move forward despite nerves. Repetition builds strength. Every time you speak while nervous, your brain rewires itself. Your body learns that speaking does not lead to disaster, it leads to impact. Example. Sarah, a young professional, dreaded presenting at meetings. Her hands shook, her voice trembled. But she forced herself to speak weakly, each time slightly longer, slightly louder, slightly clearer. Months later, she spoke to a room of 100 executives without hesitation. Her nerves didn't disappear overnight. Her repetition and practice created confidence. Actionable advice. Start small. Speak in meetings, with colleagues, or to a small group. Increase the challenge gradually. Longer presentations, larger audiences, higher stakes. Record, review, and refine. Notice hesitation, tone, and projection. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It is the mastery of action despite fear. Every deliberate conversation, every presentation, every phone call is practice for building unstoppable confidence. Final thoughts. Confidence turns words into influence. Confidence is the bridge between knowledge and influence. Without it, even the clearest ideas can be ignored. With it, even small ideas can command attention and action. Remember, tone communicates more than words. Speak like you believe in what you are saying. Posture, breath, and projection create physical authority that your audience senses. Practice speaking even when nervous. Repetition rewires your mind and body for confidence. Confidence is not a trait you are born with. It is a skill you build with awareness, practice, and intentionality. Speak like you mean it, and the world listens. Speak like you mean it and opportunities open. Speak like you mean it and you grow faster than anyone who waits to feel ready. Because when you speak with real confidence, your words stop being just words, they become power. Chapter 4. Storytelling for Influence. Facts inform people, but stories transform them. If you want to influence someone's thinking, shift their perspective, or guide them toward action, you must master the art of storytelling. Humans have been telling stories long before they learned to write. Stories were how tribes passed down wisdom, taught survival, shaped identity, and built unity. Today, nothing has changed. In business, leadership, relationships, and content creation, the people who win are the people who tell stories well. Why? Because people may forget your instructions, your facts, your frameworks, but they will remember your stories. They will remember how you made them feel. They will remember the moment where your words connected with their life. And once someone feels your message, they trust you. That emotional trust gives you influence that no technical skill can match. Let's break this chapter into 3 pillars that matter most. Why people remember stories more than facts and data, how personal examples build trust and relatability, and how to structure powerful stories using the problem, struggle, insight, result formula. 1. People remember stories more than facts and data. The human brain is wired for narrative. When you give someone raw facts, their logical brain processes the information. But when you tell a story, their emotional and sensory centers activate. They feel the experience. They imagine the scene. They participate mentally. That emotional engagement increases memory retention tenfold. Think about every motivational speaker you've ever heard. They don't stand on stage and read statistics. They use stories, stories of failure, stories of small wins, stories of mentors, stories of turning points. The story becomes the vehicle that carries the lesson into your mind. Imagine 2 teachers teaching the same lesson about persistence. Teacher A says, "Persistence is the key to success." Teacher B says, "When I was 19, I applied for 17 jobs and got rejected by everyone. On the 18th try, someone finally hired me, not because I was the best candidate, but because I was the only one who kept showing up." Which message sticks? Of course, the story. Facts make you understand. Stories make you remember. Stories make you care. This is why storytelling is the most powerful form of influence in communication. 2. Use personal examples to build trust and relatability. People don't connect with perfection, they connect with humanity. When you share a personal example, you remove the invisible wall between you and your listener. Your message becomes real. It becomes grounded in experience, not theory. Think of it this way. If you speak like a teacher, people may learn from you. But if you speak like a human who has lived through the same struggles, people follow you. Sharing personal examples does 3 things. It builds credibility. People believe what you've lived through more than what you've read. It creates emotional connection. Your vulnerability gives them permission to open up too. And it makes your message relatable. When someone sees themselves in your story, they feel understood. Let me give you an example. Instead of saying, "Storytelling is important for leadership," try this. When I first started speaking, I'd walk into meetings and throw facts at people, thinking it would impress them, but it never moved them. The day I shared the story of how I almost quit my career and what pulled me back, the room went silent. People felt it.
After that meeting, 3 team members came to me and said it was the first time they actually understood who I was as a leader. That's the power of personal stories. They turn you from a speaker into a guide. 3. Structure stories with problem, struggle, insight, result. Every powerful story follows a pattern. It doesn't matter if it's a Hollywood movie, a TED Talk, or a conversation with a friend. If your story has structure, it becomes automatically engaging. The best and simplest structure is 1. Problem. What was the situation? What was the challenge? What went wrong? 2. Struggle. What did you feel? Where did you fail? What made it difficult? 3. Insight. What lesson clicked in your mind? What changed your direction or mindset? 4. Result. What happened after applying the insight? How did things improve or transform? Let's illustrate this with a short example. Problem. I used to speak too fast during meetings because I was nervous. Struggle. People kept asking me to repeat myself and I felt embarrassed. I thought I wasn't good enough. Insight. One mentor told me, you don't have a speaking problem, you have a breathing problem. That hit me. I realized my anxiety was controlling my rhythm. Result. I practiced slow breathing before every meeting. Within 2 weeks, people said I sounded more confident and clearer. That small change transformed my communication. This structure works because it mirrors human experience. We all go through a problem, experience a struggle, discover an insight, and achieve a result. When your story follows this pattern, your audience's brain naturally leans in and stays engaged. Storytelling isn't a nice skill to have. It is the core of communication, influence, leadership, content creation, and relationship building. If you want people to remember you, trust you, and follow your message, then you must learn to tell stories with clarity, emotion, and structure. Your voice carries information, but your stories carry impact. And the more you master storytelling, the faster you grow in influence, in confidence, and in opportunity.
Chapter 5. Emotional Control While Speaking. Speaking with confidence is one thing. Speaking with emotional control is another. Your ability to manage your emotions while communicating separates average speakers from influential leaders. Most people let their feelings dictate their words. They get defensive, nervous, or flustered. They over-explain, rush, or stumble. And the result? Their message loses power, their credibility is questioned, and opportunities slip away. Emotional control is the backbone of effective communication. It allows you to speak with clarity, maintain authority, and influence people, even in stressful situations. The best speakers, leaders, and influencers have one thing in common. They manage their emotions before they manage their words. Let's explore why emotional control matters, how to stay grounded, and the strategies you can use to deliver with calm authority, even under pressure. 1. Stay grounded even under pressure or judgment. Pressure and judgment are inevitable. Whether it's a room full of skeptical listeners, a high-stakes presentation, or a tough client, you cannot control their reactions, but you can control yourself. Staying grounded under these conditions communicates strength. People notice it subconsciously. A calm, centered speaker commands attention without saying a single word. Grounding starts with your body. Stand tall, plant your feet firmly, relax your shoulders, and breathe deeply. Your physical state directly affects your emotional state. A slouched or tense body signals anxiety, while a stable, relaxed posture signals confidence. Here's a story. Samantha, a junior executive, was asked to present a new project proposal in front of senior management. She felt her heart racing and palms sweating. In the past, she would have stumbled and rushed. This time, she planted her feet, straightened her posture, and took 2 deep breaths before speaking. Her voice remained calm, steady, and precise. The room listened. They asked questions respectfully. By controlling her body and emotions first, she controlled the room. Takeaway: emotional control starts inside you. Ground yourself physically to stabilize your voice and mind. 2. Slow down. Emotional discipline increases your authority. Emotional speakers rush, nervous speakers stumble. People who let excitement or fear dictate their tempo lose their audience. Slowing down your speech is one of the most powerful tools to maintain authority. It signals confidence, allows clarity, and gives weight to every word you say. When you slow down, listeners have time to process your message. Your words land with precision. You appear calm and in control, even under challenging circumstances. Think about the most memorable speakers you've ever heard. Did they talk fast, filling every second with words? Rarely. They spoke slowly. They paused. They gave emphasis. Their calm rhythm made their words stick. Practical exercise. Before your next conversation or presentation, consciously slow down. Take a pause after every key point. Breathe between sentences. Notice the difference in the way people respond. Emotional discipline through pacing immediately increases your authority. 3. Detach from people's reactions. Focus on your delivery. One of the biggest mistakes speakers make is reacting to their audience. If someone frowns, disagrees, or looks bored, many speakers adjust their tone, lose focus, or become defensive. This destroys authority. To maintain control, you must detach from their reactions. Focus entirely on your delivery. Your job is to deliver the message, not to manage the emotions of everyone in the room. Let go of judgment. Stop trying to please everyone. Focus on speaking clearly, confidently, and intentionally. Here's an example. David, a sales leader, often faced skeptical clients during presentations. In the past, he would get flustered, try to explain more, and overcompensate. Then he learned a powerful principle: detach from reactions, focus on delivery. He stopped reacting to frowns or side whispers. He spoke with intention, pacing, and authority. Clients began listening, not reacting. Sales improved. His calm emotional control became his edge. Psychology behind this: people subconsciously follow emotional cues. If you remain calm, they calm down. If you stay composed, they trust your authority. If you focus on delivery, your message becomes the center, not their judgment. Practical tips to build emotional control. 1. Practice mindfulness. Regularly check your emotional state before speaking. Notice tension, stress, or fear. Accept it without judgment. 2. Prepare thoroughly. Confidence comes from knowing your material. When you're prepared, emotions are easier to manage. 3. Use breathing techniques. Slow, deep breaths regulate the nervous system and prevent panic or rush. 4. Rehearse under pressure. Simulate high-stakes situations to train your emotional resilience. Remember, emotional control is not about suppressing feelings, it's about directing them. Transform nervous energy into focus. Transform excitement into clarity. Transform fear into authority. When you master emotional control, you speak with calm power. You remain grounded even under pressure. You slow down, giving weight to every word. You detach from reactions and deliver with intention. This skill alone separates the average speaker from the influential leader. It turns nervous presentations into commanding performances. It transforms your words from fleeting sounds into lasting impact. Control your emotions, and you control the room. Control the room, and you control opportunities. Emotional control isn't just a communication skill, it's a growth multiplier. Because in the end, people don't just follow ideas, they follow the person who speaks them with calm, unwavering authority.
Chapter 6. Structure. Speak with direction. Structure is the secret weapon of every powerful speaker. Without it, even the best ideas can be lost in chaos. People don't just listen to words, they follow patterns. Their brains crave order, flow, and predictability. If your message is scattered, confusing, or jumping from point to point, your audience disengages, even if the content is brilliant. Structure is the bridge between your ideas and the listener's understanding. It gives your speech clarity, authority, and memorability. Think of speaking like building a house. Without a blueprint, walls collapse, rooms feel awkward, and people get lost. Structure is your blueprint. Every speech, presentation, or conversation needs it. And when you speak with structure, people don't just listen, they follow you, trust you, and act on what you say. Number 1. Use frameworks like point, reason, example, result. Frameworks are pre-built templates for organizing your thoughts. They help your message flow naturally and logically so the audience doesn't have to work to understand you. One of the most effective frameworks is point, reason, example, result. Point. State your main idea clearly. Don't bury it in filler. Make it obvious from the start. Reason. Explain why it matters. Give logic, data, or context that supports your point. Example. Bring the point to life with a real-life scenario, story, or analogy. Result. Show the outcome, takeaway, or action step. Give the listener closure and value. Example. Point. Regular feedback improves team performance. Reason, because it helps people correct mistakes quickly and reinforces positive behaviors. Example. In our last project, we held weekly check-ins. Team errors dropped 40% and morale improved. Result. Start implementing weekly feedback sessions today to boost efficiency and engagement. Notice how easy this is to follow. Every sentence has purpose. Every idea has direction. That's the power of frameworks. They reduce cognitive load for the listener and increase the impact of your message. Number 2, organized speaking makes you appear smarter and more credible. Humans are wired to equate clarity with intelligence. People assume organized, structured speakers are knowledgeable and competent. Conversely, scattered speakers appear unprepared or untrustworthy, even if their ideas are excellent. Organized speaking is a shortcut to credibility. It tells your audience, I know what I'm talking about. I have a clear vision. You can rely on me to guide you through this idea. Even if you are nervous or inexperienced, structure can mask uncertainty. It's the difference between rambling and delivering a commanding, confident message. Leaders, coaches, and professional speakers use structure consciously. They know it builds authority before they even finish their first sentence. Here's a tip. Before speaking, outline your 3 to 5 key points. Use a simple framework for each. Stick to it. By the time you finish, your message is clean, memorable, and persuasive, and you appear smarter than you feel. Number 3, break complex ideas into simple, digestible parts. Even brilliant ideas lose their power if they're too complex. Complexity overwhelms people. It creates confusion, frustration, and disengagement.
Your job as a speaker is to simplify without dumbing down. Break ideas into small, logical chunks. Use analogies, metaphors, or visual imagery to make them relatable. Give one point at a time and pause for the audience to absorb it, then move to the next. Example: complex idea, compounding interest grows wealth exponentially over time. Simple structured explanation. Point: compounding interest multiplies your money. Reason: because your money earns interest, and that interest earns more interest. Example: if you invest $1,000 at 10% annually, after 10 years, it becomes $2,593 without adding anything extra. Result: start investing early. Even small amounts grow dramatically over time. Structure is your invisible scaffolding. It organizes your message, gives clarity, and increases impact. Frameworks like point, reason, example, result provide a clear path from your thoughts to the listener's mind. Organized speech makes you appear knowledgeable, credible, and prepared. Remember, even the most brilliant ideas fail if your delivery lacks direction. Structure turns scattered thoughts into persuasive messages. Structure turns nervous speakers into confident communicators. Structure turns words into influence. If you master structure, your audience doesn't just hear you, they follow you. They don't just understand, they trust you. And in the end, structure doesn't just improve your communication, it multiplies your opportunities, your influence, and your growth.
Chapter 7: Voice Tone and Pace Mastery. Your words matter, but how you say them matters even more. Tone and pace are the secret levers of high-impact communication. They determine whether people stay glued to your message or tune out halfway. You can have the smartest ideas, the clearest structure, and the most compelling stories, but if your voice is monotone or rushed, your message loses power. Mastering tone and pace transforms ordinary speakers into unforgettable communicators. The human brain responds to variation in sound. A flat, monotonous delivery makes your listener drift away. A voice with life, energy, and rhythm commands attention. Tone conveys emotion, confidence, and authority. Pace controls comprehension, engagement, and emphasis. Together, they create a symphony that turns your words into influence. This chapter will teach you 3 essential elements: varying tone for engagement, adjusting speed for energy and impact, and using pauses to emphasize key points. 1. Vary your tone to maintain listener engagement. Monotone speaking is a silent killer of attention. When every sentence sounds the same, listeners stop caring, even if your message is brilliant. Varying tone communicates emotion, intention, and hierarchy. It signals excitement, seriousness, or importance. It tells your brain which words to remember. For example, if you are telling a story about a challenge you overcame, your tone should rise with tension and soften during reflection. This mirrors the emotional arc of the story and keeps listeners invested. Practice. Identify key words in your message. Emphasize them with a slightly higher or lower pitch, stronger volume, or subtle inflection. Record yourself and notice where the tone is flat or lifeless. Adjust consciously. Think of professional speakers, actors, or broadcasters. They don't speak in a single flat pitch. Their tone dances with the content. You can do the same. Tone is your emotional amplifier. When mastered, it makes every sentence feel alive and engaging. 2. Speed up for energy, slow down for impact. Pace is another crucial element of communication. Speaking too fast creates confusion, reduces retention, and signals nervousness. Speaking too slowly can bore listeners and dilute urgency.
The key is to intentionally adjust your speed based on the moment and message. For example, speed up for energy. Quicken pace signals excitement, action, or urgency. It makes the listener lean in and feel the momentum. For example, when motivating a team to take immediate action, a faster pace communicates enthusiasm and movement. Slow down for impact. Slower speech conveys thoughtfulness, authority, and importance. It gives the listener time to absorb key points. For example, after stating a crucial idea, pause and slow your delivery. This signals significance and draws attention. For example, success is built on patience, dedication, repetition, discipline. The slowed pace and slight pauses emphasize each word. Every word lands with authority. Listeners feel it in their mind and body. Your pace becomes a tool of persuasion. It's not just about words, it's about rhythm. Mastering speed makes you feel in control and makes the audience feel connected. 3. Use pauses to create drama, clarity, and emphasis. Pauses are often overlooked by new speakers, yet they are one of the most powerful tools in communication. Strategic pauses allow you to create suspense or drama. A well-timed pause before a key revelation builds anticipation. Enhance clarity. Pauses separate ideas, making complex information digestible. Emphasize key points. Pausing after an important statement signals importance and ensures the message sinks in. For example, the decision you make today will define your future. Notice the pause after today. It draws attention, builds suspense, and highlights significance. Most people fear silence and rush through words, which reduces impact. Embrace the pause. Treat it as a tool, not a gap. Pausing allows your audience to catch up mentally, and it gives your words the weight they deserve. Practical tip. During presentations or conversations, mark key sentences where a pause would amplify your message. Practice delivering them slowly, letting the silence speak for itself. You will immediately notice how much more authority your voice carries. Tone and pace are not just delivery tools, they are influence multipliers. Varying tone keeps listeners emotionally invested. Adjusting speed allows you to match energy and create impact. Pauses create suspense, emphasize key points, and enhance clarity. When mastered, your voice alone can command attention, create connection, and inspire action. Listeners remember how you made them feel, not just what you said. And your tone and pace are the emotional guides of that experience. Remember, a flat voice makes your ideas forgettable. A monotone pace makes your wisdom fade. Tone plus pace equals authority, influence, and memorability. Speak with intention. Adjust your speed, modulate your tone, and embrace the power of the pause. Your voice will no longer just convey information. It will command attention, inspire action, and leave a lasting impression.
Chapter 8. Removing Weak Communication Habits. Communication is more than just speaking clearly. It's about eliminating habits that weaken your message. Most people sabotage their influence without realizing it. They over-explain, apologize unnecessarily, or use weak language that signals doubt. These small, unconscious habits erode authority, reduce trust, and make even strong ideas seem weak. To grow fast, you must identify and remove these habits, replacing them with direct, confident, and value-driven speech.
Weak communication habits are silent barriers. They prevent people from taking you seriously. They slow your growth. They make your words less memorable. The good news? These habits are trainable. With conscious effort, you can replace them with habits that project power, authority, and clarity. This chapter focuses on three main areas: stopping over-explaining, eliminating unnecessary apologies, and removing weak or uncertain language like maybe, sort of, or I think. 1. Stop over-explaining. Speak only what adds value. Over-explaining is one of the most common mistakes in communication. Many speakers feel pressure to justify every point, anticipate every question, or cover every detail. The result? Rambling, diluted messages, and disengaged listeners. When you over-explain, people stop listening. They get lost in unnecessary details. Worse, you appear insecure, as if you need to justify your expertise. The solution is simple. Say what matters and stop. Deliver one clear point, support it with one or two examples, and then pause. Let your message breathe. Give the listener space to process. Example: weak. I think this strategy might work. It's just an idea, but if we try it, maybe it could improve efficiency slightly. And also, there's another option we could consider, although I'm not sure. Strong. This strategy will improve efficiency. We should implement it starting next week. Notice the difference? The first is cluttered, hesitant, and confusing. The second is direct, confident, and memorable. Stop over-explaining. Speak to add value, nothing more, nothing less. 2. Do not apologize unnecessarily while communicating. Many people apologize for things they don't need to, for their ideas, their questions, or even their presence. This habit subtly undermines credibility. Every unnecessary sorry tells listeners that you are unsure, hesitant, or less deserving of attention. You do not need to apologize for speaking up, for making a point, or for asking a question. Confidence grows when you communicate without unnecessary self-deprecation. Example: weak. I'm sorry, but I have a suggestion. Strong. I have a suggestion. See how removing the apology immediately projects authority? The same point is made, but with confidence without weakening your position. Rule: apologize only when necessary. Save it for genuine mistakes, not for speaking your mind or presenting ideas. 3. Remove weak, uncertain language like maybe, sort of, or I think. Weak words are subtle killers of influence. Words like maybe, sort of, I think, I guess, and kind of signal uncertainty. Even if you are confident internally, these words tell your listener you are not. Example: weak. I think we could maybe try this approach, and it might work. Strong. We will try this approach because it will improve results. Notice the difference? The second statement is decisive, actionable, and memorable. Your audience instantly trusts someone who speaks with certainty, even if the final outcome is unknown. Strong language creates authority and builds confidence, both in yourself and in those listening. Replace weak words with I will instead of I think. We can instead of maybe. This small change rewires perception. People respond to certainty, not hesitation. Practical exercises to eliminate weak habits. 1. Record yourself speaking. Listen for filler words, unnecessary apologies, and weak language. Note each occurrence. 2. Rewrite weak sentences. Convert hesitant phrases into decisive statements. Practice saying them out loud. 3. Pause before speaking. When tempted to over-explain, ask, does this add value? Only speak if the answer is yes. 4. Challenge weak language. Replace I think or maybe with assertive alternatives in everyday conversation. Consistency in this practice builds authority. Over time, your speech becomes sharper, your message stronger, and your influence undeniable. Final thoughts. Strong communication is not about using big words or impressive facts. It's about removing what weakens your message. Stop over-explaining, stop apologizing unnecessarily, stop using uncertain language. Every weak habit you remove adds clarity, confidence, and authority to your voice. The world rewards decisive communicators. People trust them, follow them, and take action because they project certainty. Weak habits do the opposite. They dilute your message, obscure your ideas, and slow your growth. Master the removal of weak communication habits, and your voice becomes a tool of influence, power, and rapid growth.
Chapter 9. Persuasive Speaking. Persuasion is the art of getting others to see your point, take action, or embrace an idea without forcing it. Whether you are selling a product, pitching an idea, leading a team, or influencing a friend, persuasive speaking is the difference between being ignored and being followed. The most powerful speakers in the world don't rely on facts alone. They understand psychology, emotional triggers, and the listener's perspective. Persuasion begins long before your first word. It starts with understanding what your audience wants, then delivering it with clarity, confidence, and authority. Effective persuasion combines three core principles: know your listener, focus on benefits, and speak with strong, confident action. Mastering these elements turns any conversation into influence, any presentation into action, and any message into results. 1. Understand what your listener wants before you speak. People rarely care about what you want. They care about what they want. Persuasive speaking starts with empathy and awareness. If you try to push your message without understanding your listener, you waste energy, create resistance, and reduce impact. Ask yourself, what problem are they trying to solve? What motivates them? What fears or objections might they have? Once you know this, tailor your message to meet their needs. Instead of starting with what you want, start with what they care about. Example: imagine pitching a new software tool to your team. Weak approach: we need to start using this software because it's efficient. Persuasive approach: I know you're juggling multiple tasks and deadlines. This tool will help you save 2 to 3 hours per week and reduce mistakes, making your work easier and less stressful. Notice how the second version speaks to the listener's needs first. It immediately captures attention and builds alignment. Persuasion is not about manipulation. It's about connecting your message to the listener's priorities. 2. Present benefits before instructions or recommendations. One of the most common mistakes speakers make is giving instructions before explaining value. People resist action when they don't understand why it matters. To be persuasive, always present the benefit first, then the recommendation or instruction. Think of it as answering the unspoken question in your listener's mind. What's in it for me? Example: weak: please submit your report by Friday. This is required. Persuasive: submitting your report by Friday will allow us to review it before the client meeting so we can catch errors and impress the client. Please submit it by Friday. By stating the benefit first, you create motivation. Your listener sees the positive outcome and is more likely to act willingly. Persuasion is about making action feel logical, rewarding, and urgent. 3. Use strong action words and deliver with confidence. Language shapes perception. Weak verbs, hesitant phrasing, and passive delivery reduce persuasive power. Strong, decisive language combined with confident delivery inspire trust and prompt action. Weak: I think you could maybe try this approach. Strong: implement this approach today. It will double your efficiency. Notice the difference. The second sentence is clear, confident, and commanding attention. It signals authority. People are more likely to follow someone who speaks with certainty and gives clear action. Tips for strong persuasive delivery. Replace vague verbs with precise, actionable words. Start, implement, achieve, create. Speak an active voice. Passive voice dilutes impact. Project your voice with confidence. Strong delivery convinces the brain before the logic is even processed. Use short, declarative sentences to maintain clarity and emphasis. The combination of strong words and confident tone creates urgency, authority, and influence. People feel compelled to act because your message resonates both logically and emotionally. Speak with purpose, speak with conviction, and speak to connect benefits with action. Master these three principles, and your words will not just inform, they will inspire, motivate, and create results.
Chapter 10. Speaking for Fast Growth. Speaking well isn't more than a skill, it's a growth engine. The way you communicate directly affects the opportunities you receive, the networks you build, and the speed at which you advance. Fast growth doesn't happen by chance. It happens when your words open doors, inspire confidence, and position you as someone capable of more than your current role. Every conversation is a chance to practice influence, authority, and leadership. If you master speaking strategically, you accelerate not just your career, but your personal and professional development. This chapter focuses on 3 actionable strategies: using communication to unlock opportunities, speaking like a leader before holding a role, and treating every conversation as a rehearsal for your future level. 1. Use communication to build networks and unlock opportunities. Opportunities rarely come without connection. Your network is your lifeline, and communication is the bridge that builds it. When you speak with clarity, confidence, and insight, people notice you. They remember you. They open doors for you that otherwise would remain closed. Think of every conversation as an investment. Each interaction creates a mental imprint of who you are, what you know, and how capable you appear. Even casual discussions at work, events, or social gatherings are opportunities to demonstrate competence and potential. Practical example. You meet a senior professional at a networking event. Instead of small talk, you briefly share a relevant insight, ask thoughtful questions, and listen actively. You leave a positive impression. Weeks later, they refer you to a project, job, or mentorship opportunity. That's the power of communication as a growth tool. To maximize impact, speak with purpose, have something meaningful to add. Listen actively, make the other person feel valued. Follow up thoughtfully to reinforce your presence and professionalism. Communication isn't just about talking, it's about creating influence that translates into tangible growth. 2. Speak like a leader even before you hold a leadership role. Leadership is not a title, it's behavior. You can command respect, inspire confidence, and influence outcomes simply by how you communicate. Leaders speak with clarity, decisiveness, and vision, and these qualities can be displayed regardless of your position. Speaking like a leader means projecting confidence even when unsure. Your tone and body language communicate authority. Being solution-oriented. Focus on ideas, insights, and actionable recommendations. Influencing others. Persuade, motivate, and guide conversations toward results. Example. A team member suggests a new strategy. Instead of hesitating or waiting for approval, you analyze the idea, provide constructive input, and summarize next steps clearly. People begin to see you as capable, decisive, and leader-like, even if your official title doesn't reflect it. Leadership communication accelerates growth because people trust those who act and speak like leaders. Opportunities tend to flow to those perceived as capable regardless of formal position. 3. Treat every conversation as practice for your future level. Growth is not a single event. It is the accumulation of small actions. Each conversation, presentation, or meeting is a rehearsal for the person you aspire to become. Treat it as a stage for practicing clarity,
persuasion, emotional control, and authority. Imagine your future self in a higher role, confident, respected, and influential. Every interaction today is an opportunity to step into that version of yourself. By speaking with intention and purpose, you accelerate your development and train your communication muscles for the next level. Practical strategy. Approach meetings with a mindset of contribution, not just participation. Ask thoughtful questions that demonstrate insight and vision. Practice speaking decisively even on small topics. It reinforces habit and builds credibility. Over time, these small practices compound. Your network expands, your confidence grows, and doors open naturally. Speaking becomes a multiplier of opportunity and growth. Fast growth isn't just about working harder, it's about communicating smarter. Every conversation is an opportunity to build influence, demonstrate leadership, and accelerate advancement. Speak to build networks, not just exchange words. Speak like a leader, even before your title says so. Treat every interaction as practice for your future success. Your words are not just sounds, they are tools. Tools to create opportunity, authority, and rapid growth. Master this skill and your career, influence, and personal development accelerate faster than you ever imagined. Remember, the fastest-growing individuals are not necessarily the smartest. They are the ones who speak with intention, influence with authority, and grow through every interaction. This audiobook teaches you how to use communication as a tool for fast personal and professional growth. You'll learn clarity, confidence, influence, storytelling, structure, emotional discipline, and persuasive speaking. The skills that help you grow your career, income, relationships, and opportunities at high speed. Your voice is the fastest growth tool you have. When you learn to speak with clarity, confidence, and influence, you reshape your entire life. Keep practicing, keep improving, and keep speaking with intention. Every conversation is a chance to grow. Every sentence is a chance to lead. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to be consistent. Your future rises every time you speak with purpose.